Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. I am Fatri Nurdinasari Bakri from English Education C 2018, Universitas Sulawesi Barat. Now, I'm in the 5th semester. So, this video as my assignment from Foreign Language Acquisitions course by Mr. Amrang SPD MPD. And in this video, I will explain a little bit about the theories of a second language acquisition, which include 5 models or 5 hypotheses. But first, what is hypothesis actually? So, hypothesis is opinion whose the truth is not certain, which means we don't know the opinion is true or not. So, to be able to confirm the truth of the opinion, a hypothesis must be tested and proven. Okay, the 5 models or 5 hypotheses are: the first is the acquisition learning hypothesis, and the second is the natural order hypothesis, the third is the monitor hypothesis, and the fourth is the input hypothesis, and the last is the affective filter hypothesis. Okay, the first one is the acquisition learning hypothesis. So, this hypothesis that for adults, there are 2 different ways to develop a second or foreign language skill. The methods are acquisition and learning. The differences method between acquisition and learning are the first is in acquisition, how to develop a second language or foreign language is similar with the child when acquire the first language, while learning by formal knowledge of language. And the second one is in acquisition by picking up knowledge subconsciously, while learning by knowing about a language consciously. And the third is in acquisition refers to implicit knowledge, while learning refers to explicit knowledge, which means about the rules, being aware and being able to talk. And the last is an acquisition. Informal teaching is used to help develop a second or foreign language, while learning formal teaching is used to help develop a second or foreign language. Okay, the second hypothesis is the natural order hypothesis. The natural order hypothesis states that in learning a second language, the grammar structure will be obtained based on predictable order, which morphology is the best studied part of grammar in language acquisition. But certain grammatical structure are obtained earlier, and some are obtained later. And the third hypothesis is the monitor hypothesis. This hypothesis states that a person's language knowledge obtained by learning and has only function as monitor and editor. Therefore, there are 3 requirements that must be satisfied in order to use the monitor successfully. And the first is the performer has to have enough time, and the second one is the performer has to be thinking about correctness and be focused on a form. And the last is the performer has to know the rules. In addition, without practice, we can speak fluently. Okay, the fourth hypothesis is the input hypothesis. This hypothesis states that we acquire a second language by understanding that is one level above before learning through context and extra linguistic information. Also, this hypothesis is expressed by I+1, which means I is knowledge of the language before learning, and one is a knowledge of the language after learning. Okay, the last hypothesis is the affective filter hypothesis. This hypothesis states that attitude variables are related to one's language achievement. The lower person's affective filter, the easier to acquire a second language. A lower filter means that the performer is more open to the input, and that to the input strike deeper to use the efficacious terms. Okay, I think that's all. Thanks for your nice attention, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you.